Hello everyone, welcome back to Linkside 201. Today we are going to begin a new set 2.2 to set 2.1. We are going to talk about phonetics. Phonetics is a study of the physical units that make up language. It's likely atomic level of language. In the broad sense, human language can be in two forms, spoken form or sign form. It means that for spoken language, phonetics is studying the sound of speech, and for sign languages, phonetics is study the discrete components of signs. So each hand gesture can be decomposed into several components. Same for sounds. So it means that spoken language has phonetics, and sign languages has phonetics as well. Okay. And there will be three subfields of phonetics. We're going to talk about them one by one. Okay. Articulatory phonetics is a study of the ways in which speech sounds are produced. We need to know which part of mouth are used and in what sort of configuration. And actually, articulatory phonetics can be directly applied to speech synthesis. It means that we are going to use machine to produce human language sounds. We can watch this video for what it means by using phonetics.
This mechanical talking robot mouth, developed by the Sawada Group at Kagawa University.
体積を変えて言葉を作ります。
The robot's mouth and tongue are made.
Yeah, as we can see in this video, the scientist knows which part of the mouth should be where so that we can produce the desired sound. Okay, so we need the articulatory phonetics knowledge to build this type of machine. Okay, so articulatory is to study where and how the parts of our mouth are used to produce a specific sound. And also we have acoustic phonetics. For acoustic phonetics, we do not study the parts that produce sounds. Instead, we study the sound property directly. In other words, we study the sound waves of each sounds produced in human languages. Okay, so it can be done. The knowledge of acoustic phonetics can be applied for speech synthesis as well. Can watch this video a little bit.
Alles klar? Wohl kaum, das lässt sich aber ganz einfach ändern.
So we can see a speaking piano in the video. There's no mystery behind it. It's just a super piano which can produce various pitches, various sounds in different pitches. And so we know by studying acoustic phonetics, we know the combination of which sounds will produce the desired human language sounds. So we can do speech synthesis by using acoustic phonetics as well. And the third field is auditory phonetics, the study of how humans process speech sounds. In other words, how we hear sounds, how we perceive pronunciation. So put all three things together. Actually, it's a process. We are looking at how a sound is produced, how a sound is transmitted, and how a sound is perceived. Produced is articulatory, transmitted is acoustic, and perceived, how a sound is perceived is auditory. So let's go. It's like a review. Articulatory phonetics look at the production side. Okay, how a sound is produced by your mouth. And acoustic phonetics is study the sound property. In other words, how the sound is the transmission form. So the sound is now in transmission form because it's in sound wave, right? And then auditory phonetics look at how humans perceive these speech sounds. For our focus of this course in phonetics will be on the first two things only, because these branches are better understood than auditory phonetics. So this is like, we're going to leave this for future study, but we are going to pay more attention on the first two things. Now let's take a look at the sound producing system. We can look at this picture. We have a man looking at this direction. We got his eyes, his nose, his mouth here. And all you need to know is the name of different organs. You just need to know the names. Okay, so we have lungs, which is the source of airflow, and we have larynx, which contains vocal folds and glottis. We are going to take a close look at larynx later. And then we have pharynx, we have nasal cavity, and we have oral cavity. Okay, there are three stages of sound production. We have initiation. First, the airstream is initiated through the lung. The lung pushes the air, and then with phonation stage, the air is pushed to larynx. And larynx has vocal folds, and this will decide the voicing property of the sounds produced. If the vocal cords are open, then we have voiceless sound. If the vocal cords are drawn up together, is closed, then we have voiced sound. And then in the final stage, articulation, different configuration of your mouth and your oral cavity, we have different sounds. Now let's take a close look at larynx, specifically the glottis. So if we have a camera that goes all the way down through this direction and reach larynx, and this is what we are going to see. The most important part, the most things that interest us is these two muscle tissues, is the vocal folds. Okay, we can ignore the rest of them. So the status of the glottis affects the voicing feature of the sound. So we have vocal folds here again. So if the glottis is the whole thing, the vocal folds are just these two things. Okay, the glottis include vocal folds and rima glottis. I don't know how to say this word. Okay, it's the other stuff. Okay, but we need to pay attention to the glottis for now. So if the vocal folds are drawn apart, the glottis is open, then we have voiceless sound. Because the air flow will go through the glottis without vibrating the vocal folds. Okay, because the door is open, so it did not touch the glottis. On the other hand, if the vocal folds are drawn together, so the glottis is closed. narrowed. Okay, so when the airflow comes out from the lung and passing through the glottis, it will vibrate the glottis, the vocal folds. So let's do a little experiment here. If you put your hands on your throat and you say the following list of words, you have sing, think, final, bush. You will feel you would not feel a lot of vibration for voiceless sound. On the other hand, if you have this list, zing, vo, volt, garage, you can feel that your throat has some vibration. So sounds without vocal cord vibration are voiceless, and sounds with vocal cord vibration are voiced. Okay. And you can also watch this video to see the status of the real-time status of your vocal cords, the glottis, when one is speaking. Okay, thank you. That's it for today. And remember to do the in-class exercise.